Hey everyone! So, my New Year's resolution this year is to upload a bunch of new videos. I've been getting such an overwhelming response about college related videos via Twitter and Facebook and obviously through YouTube. So, I'm going to be making and trying really, really hard to upload a new video on this channel every single Thursday. Um, so, I'm going to be starting a series, and I had already started a series about college, but I'm actually going to have it be a little bit more structured. And then, like I said, I'm going to be probably uploading videos in the meantime, like in the progression of the other videos, just answering your questions if I see that there are a lot of similar questions. So those of you that follow me, you all know that I'm a junior this year, which means that I'm graduating in a year and I can't even believe it. But again, I've just been getting such an overwhelming response about making college related videos, so I'm going to walk you through the entire step, all the different process that it takes to from getting in to starting your freshman year and then, what to do after college. So I also have this book that I bought, and I've again been meaning to kind of like do this type of mini series since I got it. So it's also going to be kind of like a book club, and I'll be sharing the information from the book as well as putting in my 2 cents. So these are the different topics that are in this book. The first chapter is all about getting started. The second chapter is about sharing space. Head of the class, getting involved, tech etiquette, love life, sorority life, which I'm not in a sorority, but my roommate is, so she could probably fill you guys in on that. Healthy and happy, surviving temptation, money matters, the college perks, and then what's next. So the first chapter is about getting in, and the very first section is called Getting In. So the author shares kind of her story about how she wanted to go to Brown University, and she was so headstrong and so head set on going to that college. And I know the feeling about kind of only having one destination and setting everything else aside. And she pretty much just said that, 6 years and $70 of application fee later, her hopes were pretty much destroyed because she got a rejection letter. So for those of you that are in high school, that are either juniors that are looking for colleges, or if you're seniors, this is the time when you're going to probably be getting your letters back. And it's a really stressful time. I definitely can relate because I went college searching the summer after my junior year of high school. And so I was kind of a little bit early. A lot of people were telling me that was really early, but I don't know. I just wanted to get out of the way, I guess. And I was looking at a lot of them in one specific area, and then there were 2 or 3 of them in like Virginia, and it was just really kind of all over the place. But we didn't actually go see the other ones in Virginia. I went to go see some in like the New England area, and I think I went to a total of 5 or 6 different universities. And the very first one that I went to happens to be the one that I'm at currently, and it was definitely like a love at first sight. I pulled up with my parents. I don't know what it was about the school, but I just kind of like fell in love with it, and I was like, under whatever circumstance, I will do whatever it takes, but I have to go to this school. Every other school like just didn't compare. So when I went, I just always found myself comparing to the first one that I saw. And so that's kind of why I can relate to this story, because when you're so headstrong on something, there's a lot of pressure, especially for those of you that maybe your grandma and your mom went to a certain school, or like a few family members went to one school, and it's kind of almost predestined that you're supposed to go to this university just to kind of like follow up, or I don't know, live up to the family tradition, I guess. So that can be really stressful. It's a really, really hard time to go through. But the author here says, like I said, she didn't get in. And she said, when I received that thin, impersonal rejection, there was just grief. And she said that these are the different stages which kind of people go through. First, there's denial. No way. I totally got in. They got it wrong. Then there's anger. Those jerks, what do they know about college admissions? Followed by bargaining. I'll retake my SATs, do 600 more hours of community service, anything. Next, depression. My world has ended. And finally, acceptance. So, what happened in my case is that I actually only applied to one school. And I know that sounds really weird because a lot of people applied to 5 all the way to maybe 15 schools. I mean, some people, I know a lot of my friends that applied to multiple schools. So what happened with me is that because all the other schools just didn't match up, I only applied to one school. And I applied early decision, and I got a letter telling me that I did not get into I didn't qualify, I guess, to early decision. My SAT scores were really bad, I'm not gonna lie. I did really well in high school. I had a really high GPA. I was involved in everything. I did dance, I did newspaper and yearbook and stuff like that. Like, I loved getting involved. But I'm not really good with standardized tests, so my SAT score is, unfortunately. So I think, for whatever reason, if that happened to be a factor, you never really know. And that's another thing that she says too, is that it's just one of those answers that you'll never get. You'll never know why you didn't get accepted. You'll never know why they had to overthink you. I mean, it's just, you can't stress about it because it'll only make you go crazy, and maybe that was meant for a reason because you weren't supposed to go to that school. So at first I was like, oh my gosh, like I kind of went through the same stage that she did. I kind of was in this denial. I was like, no, I got in. I know I did. Like, there's no way. I have everything that they were asking for and whatever. So after I kind of got over the whole anger and acceptance and trying to just cope with it, I sent them a letter and, tried to, like, in my mind make sense of everything, but I just kind of waited out. And I remember this day as if it were yesterday. I was sitting at my kitchen table, just like completely distraught because my parents were telling me that I should probably apply to plan B and C, and I didn't have one. So I was at my computer in my kitchen, and my friends that are going to watch this are going to laugh at me because they've all heard this story a million times, but I was so upset. But then my computer crashed, like the fees for the application weren't going through, and I got really mad and I went to go get the mail, and there was like a big packet in there and it told me congratulations that I got into the school. But that was not until like 3 or 4 months later. I found out after my senior year, like it was like in the spring. I was probably one of the last people to find out that I was accepted to the school. So it's a really intense process and it's really stressful. It's kind of like American Idol, whenever you're waiting in anticipation, whenever you have to find out if you're in on the next round. It's exactly like that. So my advice to kind of cope with that is to just get busy in other things. If it makes you feel better to apply to other schools to kind of have a safety blanket, I would suggest doing that. I was just really stubborn, I guess, and I didn't want to sign up for Plan B. But again, I tried afterwards. That I tried signing up for Plan B and C, but then I found out that I got in. So I was, I felt really blessed and thank God, and I was like, woohoo! So it was a really, really stressful time period, but that was kind of, the procedure of all of that. So she pretty much just says then here how to cope. So you did not get that fat acceptance package from your first choice. Disappointing? Absolutely. But devastating? No. If you get rejected from your school or from your first choice or second or third, give yourself some time to be upset, which I agree. But remember, there are about 6 billion different possible reasons for an admission decision. There's almost no way to understand the why, which is really frustrating, which is exactly what I just said. That you can't beat yourself up because it's nothing that you did or didn't do. It's just because sometimes, maybe it goes into the wrong hands or something and they kind of make a decision that bases off of everything. I mean, you never know. So, as she said, allow yourself some time to be upset. You have every right to be upset. For those of you that, unfortunately heard back and it didn't really go the way that you thought, but, the saying, I know it's totally cliche, but, everything happens for a reason. I strongly believe that I was supposed to be at the school that I am at right now, and I didn't want to go to the other schools. So even if I would have gotten accepted, I feel like I would have been more confused about where to go. But just have faith and be patient, because that's the number one key. But don't get upset. I mean, I know it's like really hard and it's a lot easier said than done. A lot of things are easier said than done. But if you just tell yourself, I have so many other options, maybe I didn't get in because this wasn't the right place for me. I feel like, I picked finance and economics as my major, and I feel like if I would have gone to a different school, maybe they would have had more opportunities in the business department and I would have chosen the wrong one. Or maybe, I was meant to meet certain people at this school that sometimes, like, we don't know the people that we meet if, like, sometimes people cross our paths for a reason and we don't find out until later in life. So maybe someone that I met now I'll work with in 10 years, or maybe someone that I met at this school will introduce me to someone that will give me a job. You never know. So there's a lot of lottery billboards that says, hey, you never know about, like, winning the lottery. So I feel like that's kind of the attitude that you should take when it comes to, like, to colleges and things, that, hey, you never know. Try, submit your application, do whatever it is that you have to do, and then just kind of leave it up and see what happens. Leave it up to God, kind of, and see what happens. And if you don't get in, don't beat yourself up. Another thing, too, that I wanted to touch base on that was really important, too, something not to do when you get your college acceptance letter is to post something on Facebook and brag about it and be really obnoxious about it. She tells the story of a kid who got accepted to Harvard, posted on Facebook and was like, oh, I don't need Harvard, they're so stupid, blah, blah, blah. Like, no, just kidding, guys, I totally got in. And when you get accepted, like, yeah, you're accepted, but there are some things that are not completely official. So they actually revoked his acceptance and he was not going to Harvard because of the mistake that he made. So, as our generation, we really don't think of Facebook as being a bad thing, because, your friends can see pictures and things like that, but you really have to be careful with the things that you post on there, the things that you say. I didn't tell anyone in my high school that I got accepted to the college that I'm at right now until we graduated, the day of graduation. And I have a big mouth. I mean, sure, that comes as a shock to many people, but I'm really bad at keeping my own secrets. I'm good at keeping other people's secrets, but when it comes to things about me, I am not good at keeping secrets. So it was so hard for me to not tell anyone, because I was exploding inside. I was like, this is the most exciting news I've ever heard. But I did not tell anyone until graduation. And I feel like that's kind of the approach that I've been taking about a lot of things in life, is I don't really like to announce things until it's completely definite and set in stone and I'm, like, totally positive, because I don't want to, bring attention to the matter, I guess, until I'm certain that I'm in that path, I guess. So yeah. So that's pretty much it. So the book, by the way, looks like this. So it says The College Girl's Guide to Everything. So again, this is just kind of going to be like a little book club, but it's also going to be my college series. And then I've been getting a lot of questions also about doing the same kind of thing for middle school and high school. I don't know if I should do them in between the college videos or do just the college series first and go through the whole book. I don't know. Share your thoughts down below. Also, as a New Year's resolution, I made new changes. I'm a new person, new attitude, and I made a new blog, which is really cool. So I'm going to post the link down below. There's a bunch of pictures, and if you guys are interested in fashion, there's a bunch of fashion articles, things like that. And I have, like, still my Twitter page and my Facebook page. So if you want, go like that. Don't forget to subscribe, because again, there's going to be a new video on this channel every single Thursday, and I hope you guys are doing great. And if you have any other suggestions or concerns or have any, like, specific question for advice, don't hesitate to send me a message. Alright, I hope you guys are having a great day, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye!